Okay, y'all. I'm back in here because I got to talk about the pastors, the reverends of LA. Now, I know I did not talk about last week's, and y'all, yes, that's what I do when I need to move, honey, because it's like somebody is crushing my spine. Um, so last week, y'all, last week was a Kiki, and if you're on the Much Love Facebook page, honey, you already know that I posted, just a side Kiki before we go into it, I posted a story that Funky Dineva broke and put out there in the picture, honey, and oh, babies. Apparently, Mr. Gospel himself apparently has been sending pictures of his pee-pee. And I'm like, really? Did you really think it was never going to get out, honey? Please, please. People are always looking for opportunity to try to come up or whatever. And whoever she was, put your ass out there on Front Street. It ain't no one or two ways about it. You know, it is what it is. But, y'all, that's on the Much Love Facebook page. So go over and check it out, honey. The story, Funky Dineva laid the shit out. It was everything to me. And y'all know I live for Funky Dineva's videos. I do. I really do. But anywho, let's get into it. Now, last week was the whole sit down. I'm just going to add a little bit of that in here. The parts that really, you know, kind of reigned supreme with me was first the whole lunch that the new engaged couple, is it Haddon or whatever his name is, him and his fiance to be want to go meet up with the Whisper and the Whisper's wife. So they there and they like, what y'all doing, and are y'all shacking and this and that and other. He went on to say, hey, whatever his name is, said, that's what I don't like. You know, where in the Bible does it talk about shacking up and this and that and other? Now, you know your ass, you know that it's not necessarily shacking up, it's the fornication or whatever, so let's don't do it. So they began to minister to y'all, and really I think in the beginning, y'all, I feel like the Whisper, you know, regardless, but I felt like I felt like they were coming from a good spot. I felt like he was. On the other hand, honey, his wife gave me some different kind of teas today. Now, I do like them as a couple, as a setting together, but Mother Goose, I'm going to need you to go back and get in that boot or that shoe like you and everybody's business. Yeah, I'm just saying. Now, before I go in there, I do want to talk about the shit that went on with Bishop Noel and the girl trying to figure out where their friendship was. And girl, you will never be his motherfucking concubine friend, whatever you want to call it, for 16 years. But with that being said, that is your business, and if that's what you choose, then so be it. But don't be faking the funk for real like you don't want to be married, because baby, I'm not buying it. You would marry that man. That man don't want to be married, and I could have swore that I heard that he was dating Miss Lisa Ray. Now, y'all get back with me if y'all heard that. Drop that shit below. I could be wrong. It was just a little kiki that I heard. I don't know 100% for sure, but I heard that. But you know, people put a whole bunch of shit out. So y'all let me know if y'all did. Anywho, girl, why are you wasting your time on this man? But with that being said, girl, you got a little restaurant out of it. Make the best of it. And like you told them, which I'm going to get into that, who says I want to be that? Now, that could be the case, and it is your business. At the end of the day, her relationship is her business. Anywho, moving on along. So the Whisper, he goes to see old dude with them, the one with the gray braids, and this other big guy, and he takes them to get some stuff. He blesses them, and I do like that he goes in the community or whatever. I still think he's a little flash, but he is one of the ones that I like. Now, I'm not a fan of Knowles, because I don't know. It's something about him that's giving me some other teas. But, you know, hey, to each his own or whatever. Y'all know that Morris Day, apparently, y'all know he's going through some shit with somebody telling him about his kids and them wanting to kill him. Well, apparently this guy got up there, or whoever this is, and he want to know why security wasn't in place. Well, where was your motherfucking entourage? They couldn't shake him down, because surely part of your entourage is security. Anywho, So he wants to know that. Let's see. And y'all, I'm just kind of bouncing all over. I really don't even want to talk about the whole, the whole shebang. I was thinking a whole bunch of stuff while it was going on. But just to kind of go back to last episode, there was the thing with the new pastor that he's not new, but they began to talk about him and his wife was invited to this tea that we're going to talk about later on in a little bit. He has someone who goes to his church, apparently was a young lady. She's transitioned and now she is a man. And there was a whole issue of, it seemed to me like he had an issue with calling him David or whatever the case may be. I don't think he was being rude. I think he was battling with what he believes spiritually. And he has that right to that. But I do like the fact that they were open-armed and was, trying to help him, David, as much as they could. So I really am beginning to like this new pastor more and more. Y'all know I don't have the names down, and some of y'all are helping me to get the names in order. And I do appreciate that. I'm horrible with names. I am. And I do like him. I like him and his wife. His wife, to me, was a breath of fresh air, something genuine about her to me, especially after seeing this episode. Now, her and him go to talk, and she's like, you always own, you always doing this, and she has to sometimes break him away so that they can get into their thing, what they have together, the relationship they have. So they in the park, and they talking, and she mentions she's invited to this tea, and she's afraid, and she's like, sometimes the women will befriend you in the church, and they really ain't, you know what I'm saying, they ain't right. And I felt what she was saying. Now, that's what I wish the first ladies of Atlanta would have, they would have been able to talk about, get into that I don't always just, sometimes the church women are too judgmental, which was what I was getting from her. And the Whisper's wife reigned supreme with that and let me know exactly what time it is. She, is really hesitant, and it kind of looked like she was going to break down, like really nervous about it. Now, with that being said, the one that's pulling it together, the one that's married to the pastor who stays in love with her and their body and her body and their sexuality, blah, 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 kind of putting it out there. Oh, y'all, excuse me. She wants to have a tea. So she goes to see the Whisper's wife and says, goes and meets up with her and mentions, how long she's been a first lady and yada, yada, yada. Now, while this is going on, let me also mention this, because the Whisper has taken the fellas to go get their shoes shined. Okay, let's move forward, and I just wanted to mention that. So she's like, I want to invite, how do you feel about me inviting, girlfriends or whatever? No, first was it engaged, and she's like, that's okay, but the girlfriend thing, no, this is the Whisper's wife. Like, okay, girl, at some point you all were girlfriends. So is it that even though you may be dating a pastor, like, don't let it be shown that you're dating, because dating means you automatically sleeping with? Like, I don't get that, because at some point you had to be dating. Nobody just threw and went and got into my, like, come on. I can't. Let's be realistic. I guess putting on airs and Miss Proverbs, what is it, 31 wife or whatever. Okay, clearly I'm not her. I try to be the best wife I can be, but it is not for me to judge another wife or wife to be or whatever. I can't, like, she worked me. She's like, she don't know, but oh girl, I'm glad she decided to invite oh girl. Okay, now let's go to Haddon and his girlfriend, the baby mama, the engaged. Really, Booge? She comes out of her mama sitting there, and y'all live for her mama, because she's like, I need you to babysit. And I mean, I really do have a license, so I like her mama, and I do. And she's kind of like, what's wrong? And I'm getting tired, and how did you handle your babies? You had 3 of us, and I'm already getting tired. Girl, sit down. You got 1 motherfucking baby. I could juggle 1 baby, honey. Cook, clean, and do it all. 1 baby? Because I had 2 from the door. Come on. You new mothers try me sometimes. Anywho, but we all were new mothers at some point, because I know I was trying the shit out of mine when I was new. So she's like, this whole thing, was shacking up and not living together. The mother's like, hold up. Basically telling her, no, y'all done came this far. Y'all only got a little bit. Y'all gonna be married. It's not the right thing to do. Ever since last week when he left, he's like, why I gotta leave, which really it translated into you was loving the way she was looking in that dress, honey, and you was trying to get the draws. Now, I will say this. I think that his fiancée, her morals are a little bit at a higher standard than his is. Like, she's more apt to say, no, this ain't right. Let's don't do this. But, girl, he's breaking your ass down because you was sure trying to root for that shit. I'm just saying. Which, he done tried me, honey. You and your PP out on display, I can't do it. I cannot do it. And let me just say this real quick, because I had this conversation, a slight conversation on Twitter with Dominique from the First Wives of Atlanta. And what strikes me is this, and yes, they are getting some fees, because Mother Jakes feels some kind of way, and yes, I said Mother Jakes, and if you don't like what the fuck I said, just get over it, and we'll still be each other's love. That's it. Just get over it. Apparently, Mother Jakes has spouted out and said, and I've seen it, and he did read them boots. What I got, I had. Y'all don't buy my house, my clothes, my suit, this and that and other, and talk about the reality show. And y'all, Mother Jakes was strutting when I tell y'all he was walking the category for runways. When he strutted off and he felt good about what he said. Now, and y'all, I'm all over the place now. I really am. Now, he mentioned that he didn't, and his money, y'all money, it goes to the ministry, baby. You're not going to put, no, I ain't going to be able to do that. Some of that money is going to you. Stop it. Now, I will say this, T.D. Jakes had books, movies, and all of that, and yes, he had money before he, went to Texas or whatever he did, but to say that none of that money now, none of it, I'm just not buying it, but I can't say it 100%. But anywho, so, and then now let me go back to what I was saying on Twitter. My thing was, they ate the first ladies alive. And you have some people talking about the LA pastors and really have a true disdain, and a lot of people have came out against this show. But they haven't started a petition like they did for the first ladies and this and that and other. Like, why is it a different standard? You know what I'm saying? So you're going to beat the flock and let the shepherd go when he do what he do? I don't think so. I'm sorry. It's an okay show. It don't change my opinion one way or the other when I'm looking at it, because what they doing is what I expect them to do. They ain't showing me nothing different at all. I'm not shocked. I'm not appalled. I'm not surprised. That's what I believe, because now the church has become big business. Churches like that. Me personally, I don't think I could get spiritually fed in that large a setting, but do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, I want to talk more book, chapter, and verse, and, I just don't need the offering to go around 10 million times and all of that. I really don't need to be coming in here in this ragged-ass outfit. My husband wearing the same suit from 1921 to now, and every time you come in here, you got a brand new suit, shirts made, ties and shit, wiping your motherfucking cars and shit off. I'm not here for it. Anywho, let's move forward. But I found it strange because there's a whole bunch of things. We could just get on Morris Day alone and have the discussion, but it seems to me that they have held the first ladies at a higher standard than they did even the pastors, and the husbands. Like, sit down and have a seat, because I'm not here for that. But we'll move on along, and y'all, I don't know, I just had to talk about that. Okay, so they gonna have this whole tea and this and that and other. Let's get into it. Now, old girl talked to Nose, and she's in the restaurant while he's eating his swamp or whatever. And she's like, I've been invited. How do you feel about that? He feels some kind of way about it because, of course, they invited her. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say that, because I genuinely think that the first lady who invited her felt like she needs to be included. What I do think is that the Whisper's wife was all too prepared to get in her business. Anywho, so they go and Now, before that, the chick that's engaged, she done talked to what's his name and said she was invited. He said, you got too much shoulder, you too new age, you're going to need a hat. She's like, I ain't doing no hats. Now, apparently, they were supposed to bring someone with them. Now, I have to pause for a minute because Miss Honey Cabbage, who initiated it, and it was beautiful, the way it was pulled together. It was just absolutely beautiful. But the girl you bought with you, honey, what was on that loose booty dress? Like, what, girl? Woo, honey, I don't know. You with the shell hat on, but we'll move forward. So, she, you know, everybody brings somebody. Now, when old girl who's engaged comes, she has a friend with her who I thought was dressed very nicely, just casual. Now, I'm sure, you know, like she said, they're going to need gloves and this and that and other. Like, I can't with the whole tea, and who does, I guess. It's just that I'm not into that, and apparently, if that's what ladylike is, I'm not her. You know what I mean? Like, the gloves and shit, like, miss me with that because I can't. So she's like, oh, girls, like in my underdress, and she was like, well, for this, but, you know, she was dressed nicely, loved her dress, loved the, you know, everybody looked nice. Now, Miss Honey, now wait a minute, was it her? Miss Honey, who's with Pastor Nose. Now, Miss Pink was already there, the Whisper's wife. She's already there in her big pink hat and honey that you can't see past, but the pink was pretty, and you better wear it. And they start mentioning the hat and the first ladies that goes with it and yada, yada, yada. I'm going to need some of my love, some of the ladies to explain to me, which I know hats are traditional to me, what I believe in the black community, you know, the church or whatever. Like, what really is the significance of that? Does that mean that you're going to have a closer relationship with the Lord? Does that mean that you have some type of clout? Like, fix that for me and tell me what it means. You know, kind of like when I asked what do this mean when you do this in church. Just clear that up for me. So, everybody's there. They begin to talk and this and that and other. The lady who's there with the cowboy hat on, well, the first wife, I didn't mean to say that, and I really do like her. She began to talk because old girl was like, you know, saying why I wanted to have this, and she opened up and said some stuff that old girl wanted to hear. And she's like, now you talking about something. You know what I'm saying? Now you really talking. So she began to say that some of my friends that really wasn't my friends, and a lot of the other first ladies could attest to that. Now that I would have liked to have seen on the Atlanta first ladies, them to be at the top. But honey, they couldn't do it because as long as Tara's big-headed ass was on there, honey, it was never going to work out and I ain't going to be able to do it. You know, so if they come back, I'm going to need her not to be on there. So they talking, and they talk to a girl who's engaged, and it's like, you know, welcome to it, and Miss Honey with the pink hat, the Whisper's wife, is like, yeah, well, you know, this and that and other. Meanwhile, you already know that she's over eyeballing Miss Honey, like, honey, yeah, what's your tea? Why you ain't married? So she decides to ask the question. No's 16-year friend, she asked the question, this and that and other, and Miss Honey said, well, what is it? Are y'all engaged? And she's like, no. She says no, and old girl's like, well, meddling, and she goes to her confession. She's kind of like, she's so concerned with me, you know, which is getting all in her business. Like, it is not your place to tell her whether she can be friends with him or not. Now, I do agree, and I do understand that they are together. And what it does say is, y'all got to be shacking, you know, doing something, you know, and all this time, and does that look, you know, how does that look to the congregation? Obviously, it's okay with them because they still come in there asking them to come places, and is it really your place to check her? You know what I mean? Like, I guess there's another woman who, as they will cover it up and be like, you know, for spiritual reasons or whatever, but really you was just meddling in her business because you sitting over there telling her what you think her worth is, and Proverbs 31 didn't change a thing, honey, and she got you all the way together, and so what makes you think I want to be? You went into talking about her merchandise, and yeah, you want to be, and I don't know, y'all. The Whisper's wife just wore me thin. Like, she just kind of wore me thin in what she's giving. And then she went on after it was over to go over to Miss Honey that's getting married, and like, what are y'all doing? And you know, you can't do this, and, you know, that's fornication, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, Mother Goose, yet again. You know, and I'm not saying that it's right to fornicate. I'm not, she's absolutely right. You know. But, honey, she read y'all early on. Did y'all check when she was like, I ain't got a head yet. You have to be around for a long time to get that. If she didn't say, you old motherfucking hags, babies, I was not ready. What else? I mean, what else is there to talk about? They trying to get the wedding together. He wants to have more say about it, and she's like, this is mine. Now, he done already said we can elope, but she don't want to do that. And again, like I said, her moral standards seem to be a little bit higher than his. Because as usual, he's talking about her attributes and her body. You know, like, okay. I can't. Anywho, y'all tell me, and let me also bring this up because Miss Honey, who initiated the tea party, had old girl and they got together, which I was glad that she was able to meet somebody that she felt like she could hang out with, because what she was saying to her husband in the park was they ain't been genuine. So they went out and talked and went shopping, and she was like, and I want to bless you. And Miss Honey immediately said, well, you can bless me with one of these necklaces. Girl! Oh, y'all don't know. Clearly, I don't know the ins and outs of it. And I'm sure some folks that might see this who will feel like, well, she just over the top, just a heathen. And she don't, baby, don't be so quick to judge me. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. You know, because you don't own the patent on loving the Lord. Okay? So, anywho, y'all, that's pretty much what stood out to me. Like, next week ain't even really worth talking about. And apparently the Whisper's sister is on drugs or some stuff like that. And let me also mention this. The Whisper's wife was there and they sitting at home and she's like, oh, it was a blessing. It was so nice. And he was like, let me meddle a little bit and ask a question and wanted to know about Noel's girlfriend. And she was like, well, they've been friends for 16 years. And he's like, 16 years. So he says that he feels like he can kind of mentor to him, you know, from a marriage standpoint. But I don't think he has any desire to marry this woman, and that would not be the one he would marry, I think, in his mind. Any woman who would date me for 16 years and not, you know, still dating this and that and other, like, she ain't the one for me. And clearly he thinks more of his motherfucking self and that damn puppet that he walk around than her. Now, yes, he gave her a little change for the restaurant, which is a tell sign that, honey, you doing something. You know, but like as far as marriage, she's not going to get that. I don't think she's going to get it. So y'all tell me what y'all think. This really wasn't a good review. I looked at it, but it's kind of getting on my nerves. And I don't know, it's getting on my nerves. I can't stand seeing Morris Day because to me, he is the epitome of pulpit pimp. And ever since he said that, you know, he tries to make accommodations, they need to pay him, boo-boo, I don't want to hear a thing you have to say. And let me also mention this, because old girl said when they were talking about the women who try to date their man and this and that and other, she was like, women tend to gravitate towards men who have power. Well, just because they preaching don't mean they got no real power. Like I said on my first review, some folks just put themselves in that position. Some folks just got the job because they applied. Okay? Anywho. What's wrong, Booch? Anywho, y'all, that's it. I'm just feeling some kind of way about the show and how it went on with her being in the business. And some of y'all might feel like, well, she, as a first lady, spiritually, she is supposed to mentor, and that could be true. But are you supposed to come off like you being so damn judgmental? Like, I don't know, honey. I don't know. I'm not feeling this. So y'all tell me what y'all think. I don't even want to talk about it no more tonight because I really could go into some other stuff, but I'm trying to keep it cute. So I need to get my ass off of this camera right now. My eyebrows is kind of up because I could really lay all the way in, but I'm not. So I'm going to get off of here. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Are y'all overwatching this stuff? Do you feel like she was getting in old girl's business? Or whatever, and did it seem like in the beginning she gave her a look like, like, just tell me, I don't know. So I'm out of here, y'all. Much love.